Yes, sir. Top 10 IDP. So we're just going to run straight through it. We're going to go D-line, linebackers, DBs. But DBs are more than likely going to be safeties. I'm not putting like a cornerback in this position. I'm just putting safeties. Let me redo that. IDP, let's do it. Shout out to the. Hold on. Man, y'all see it. First in fantasy, we got our own league, and it's IDP, PPR. It's a whole lot. I'm gonna bring it to the channel. I got y'all, but let me give y'all my quick breakdown of why y'all clicked on the video. I'm gonna put up separate videos for you guys, but let me get right to it. I don't like that intro either. All right, let me try a different one. All right. Y'all see it, man. First in fantasy, Juice and Pop Show. Make sure y'all subscribe. But let's get to why y'all clicked on the video. I'm just gonna run through them all, and then we're gonna break down everything. So for everybody that wants to skip through the video, don't worry, I got y'all. Let's just get straight through. Let's just get straight to it. We got defensive ends and D tackles and like nose, and then we got linebackers. And then we're going to have DBs. Now, DBs is mainly safeties. I don't have no corners in here, but I could throw some honorable mentions out there for you. That'll be a cornerback that will score just off of the top of the head. But let's get to it. So, coming in for defensive end, I'm going to look over here at the list. We got Max Crosby. Excuse me, sorry. Excuse me. So let's get to the defensive end. So we got Big Crosby coming in number 1 versus Denver. Denver's going to have to run the ball a little bit, so we got to see what's going on. But now let's just get to it real quick. So after Max, you got Micah Parsons, you got Myles Garrett, you got Aaron Donald, Joey Bosa. This might surprise you. Big Christian Wilkins, Harold Landry, Nick Bosa. Don't forget. We got the brothers in there now. Justin Simmons. Yeah, cannot forget about Justin Simmons. And then we cannot forget about Mr. Never Getting Injured, Cameron Jordan. So then we can talk about a couple of honorable mentions real quick. We got Kevon Thibodeau going against Dallas. We got Hassan Reddick, and we got Brian Burns, right? So that's just going to break down the defensive ends. Let's get to the linebackers. So for the linebackers, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more depth when it comes to the honorable mentions, but let's just get straight to it. For you always say the local, I know I'm missing your name, my brother, my fault, but you're number 1, no. Tremaine, his brother, Tremaine Edmonds is gonna come in at number 2, and then we got Mr. Bobby over there for the Giants now coming in at number 3, and then we got Pete Warner coming in at 4. At 5, we got Zaven Franklin. Now Zaven Franklin and Roquan Smith, I'm willing to move them. But I don't know what I'm getting out of Houston. We're going to talk about that. We got Roquan Smith coming in after that. Now, I had Nick Bolton here, and I would have put Nick Bolton here before the game, and this is also releasing after the game, but take it with a grain of salt, however you want. And then we got Logan Wilson, we got Frankie Louvu, and C.J. Mosley to wrap up the top 10. Now, I have 2 different tier lists of honorable mentions. We got Fred Warner, T.J. Edwards, Dre Greenlaw, and Cole Holcomb. Now we'll get to why these are 2 separate tier lists. And then the other tier list is going to be Jordan Brooks, Kaiser White, Drew Sanders, and Ernest Jones. And then I have a special place just for Divine Diablo that I think can always be in the top 5 just because that's my guy. I fuck with it. That's just me. But let's get to the safeties because he was a safety at one point. But we definitely got to talk about Ernest Jones. So let's get to the safeties, though. Big Minka could and should have started off, but since Jalen Petrite's playing Baltimore, we're gonna put Petrite at 1. But we're gonna talk about it later on. We got Petrite. I know I'm saying it wrong. That's on me. Then we got Fitzpatrick, Then let's go Big Derwin James. Let's go Buda Baker after that at number 4. Let's go 5, Mr. Slash linebacker Jeremy Chia. Let's go 6 with Tunga Haluvalu. Don't never know how to say your name. That's on me. But listen, I rocked with you in college too. Okay, I'm just saying. And then Jaquan Brisker, Justice Simmons. What else I got on the list? Oh yeah, Cameron Curley. You can't never forget about Jordan Poyer. Can't never forget about that man. And then the honorable mentions, Minka High. I mean, Minka. And then the honorable mentions, we got Kyle Hamilton, Von Bell, Jesse Bates, Jalen Thompson, Xavier McKinney, and Javon Holland for Miami to wrap it up. Now, I know that's a lot of players. Now, let's talk about them, and I'm going to try to talk about them pretty briefly, but we're going to start from the defensive ends and defensive line, linebacker, to the safety core DBs. So, let's get to it. I have no notes, by the way. The only notes I have is, look, y'all can see it. It's literally just a list. Now, Max is going to be number 1 because Max is just simply that dominant athlete, and he's got one of the highest motors in the league. But he's going against Denver. Denver has to solidify the run. You have to see what you have at Denver. Also, the offensive line could possibly be shaky. You don't know what you're getting with Sean Payton over there. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of intangibles. With a phenomenal specimen on the other defensive line, I'm going to take that man. I'm going to put him at the 1, okay? That's just what I'm going to do. I could do this with Aaron Donald at 4 against Seattle, but it's Pete Carroll, so he goes scheme and double that all game. And he's still at number 4, so let's make sure we get that straight. At number 2, you got Micah Parsons. Now, Micah has to play against the Giants. They're going to double him. They're going to scheme around Micah 1,000%. They played him twice last year. They're going to play him twice this year. But the difference is it's Micah Parsons. So Micah Parsons is going to do Micah Parsons things. So he's from 1 to 10 every week, no matter who he plays, and it's just what it is, okay? You got to deal with it the same way you got to deal with Aaron Donald. Now, number 3 is Myles Garrett. It's a division game going against Cincinnati. It's a big boy game. You could get 1 to 2 sacks, or you could get 2 tackles for loss and 3 tackles total with an assist in there. You know, like not much going on. Or you could have a big game with him. So he has that splash to be in there. It's also a division game, so you got to throw him there. Once again, Aaron Donald at 4 easily could be number 1. Everybody knows that, but we ain't really got to talk about it. He really falls between like about 4 to about 12 to me. And 12 would be on the low end throughout the weeks. It just depends. He gets doubled so much. There's certain linemen that it's just really hard to take. Like Christian Wilkins is hard to take now. Justin Simmons is hard to take now. And they forced double teams, and now they're going to force a lot more double teams this year than what they've ever created. How Aaron Donald's had them for multiple years and for majority of his career. So when he gets to one-on-ones, that's where he also gets a lot of them statistics. So look for matchups that will allow that creation. So maybe look at past and previous years if offensive coordinators are still the same there, or check to see if what offensive coordinator was on a different year. Listen, it takes 5 minutes to do some of this research, and this goes for every player, especially when you're doing IDP. And then it can help with a lot of the information. But let's get real brief because this is going to be a real long video. Joey Bosa over there at Miami. Now, Joey Bosa can get real active, but you want to worry about the bang bang. As long as he's not, too much bang bang over there, it's going to be just right. Khalil Mack should be in this list as well, but I just didn't really put Khalil Mack in this list, honestly. I wasn't thinking about that. I should have threw Khalil Mack in the honorable mentions, but I'm going to take Joey in this game, though, because I'm going to take Joey in this game. I got Christian Wilkins against the Chargers. Now, the reason why I'm taking this is because there's going to be runs, there's going to be screens, there's going to be quick reads, and there's going to be stuff over the middle. And Christian Wilkins will play zone on his own from time to time and grab a tackle or get his hands on the ball for you. So he's always got to be at least in the top 10 or thought about in the top 10. And he's probably one of the best defensive linemen or defensive tackles in the last decade. So we can talk about that too. Harold Landry's going to be playing for the linebacker position, kind of like TJ Watt. I actually don't have TJ Watt in this list, and that might be where I'm tripping. So if that's what I'm doing, I would put TJ Watt and I would put TJ Watt where Joey Bosa is, and I would just drop Joey Bosa and just drop the list down one, and that's how we would do that. Harold Landry, linebacker slash defensive end, if he could fit on your IDP. He's going to play phenomenal for you. He's right there with Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons is 9 on the list. You don't know who's going to get him in that game. So they're both there. Now, usually I'd put one here and one on the honorable mention, but both have the opportunity in every game for some reason. And that's just how it works for Tennessee over there. And then you got Mr. Faithful. Cameron Jordan can always be number 1 on the list, man. All these guys can be number 1 on the list. That's literally why it's a top 10. It's all about opinions and whose opinion you like the most. Like whether you like mine or you like somebody else's. It's literally all opinions upon phenomenal athletes. So we can talk about it, right? Thibodeau, he's on the honorable mention with Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns. I feel like all 3 players are like the same kind of bunch of player, same category, same stylistic, same motor style, similar moves, similar play sets, similar play styles. But there's just a whole difference in their games. But all of them could easily crack 8, 9, or 10 on this list. Or they could crack 4, 5, or 6 on this list. I'm not sure about the top 3. But that's just where I stand with it. Let me know how y'all feel. Now let's get to the linebackers. Hold on, let me scroll down on my list. Oh, man, I'm breaking shit already. Now, a local room playing Indianapolis, I don't care who he plays. I don't care when he plays. I'm putting him in the top 3. Against Indy, I would probably put him 2. But Edmonds is playing Green Bay. And if, I don't know, it's tough. Edmonds could be there if Love doesn't find that love for the game real soon. It's going to be a lot of running. And then you're going to see a whole lot to either Edmonds. Did Nicholas Monroe get traded or is he still in Chicago? TJ Edwards is there too. TJ Edwards is going to grab a lot of tackles too. So he's on the bubble. He's on my bubble. So make sure you pay attention to that. We got Bobby getting traded. Now, Bobby getting traded, going over there and playing for the Giants, for Dallas. Go look at Tay Crowder numbers. Before him, you can look at Blake Martinez numbers. And then there was a linebacker that was filling in for Blake Martinez once too. All put up solid numbers. So if you have everybody being able to put up solid numbers, why can't someone else put up solid numbers that's just as good of an athlete or pretty close to or better than? So opportunity, right? That's all I'm going to say. Pete Warner versus Tennessee. Pete Warner could easily be number 2 on this list or number 3 on this list. I'm not sure about number 1. Depends upon if he can fill all of the gaps. About 18 to 25 runs going to go to Derrick Henry. You're going to have your opportunity to at least get 4 to 5 tackles just off of that. So that right there is half of your game for you right there. And then maybe a tackle on the tight end, a tackle on something over the middle or a little screen, or, he's an athlete. He going to make a play or two or so. So you can see how the game could fall his way. We got Zaire Franklin. This is versus Jacksonville, so he could either be boom or bust this week for the top 10 list. That's all I'm going to say. Roquan Smith versus Houston. Boom or bust this week. That's all I'm going to say. That's why they're both right there, and we're going to leave it at that. Logan Wilson has a lot of upside this game going against Cleveland. It just depends what Cleveland's offense is looking like, but Nick Chubb's got to get himself 18 to 25, right? So you got opportunity. So we'll take it all day long. You got Frankie Louisville versus Atlanta. Atlanta's going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to see what they got. So we'll see what they got. And then finally, C.J. Mosley versus New England. C.J. Mosley could have 12 tackles this week. I just don't know what the offensive scheme is going to look like. So if you got C.J., play. Okay, make sure he played. But if you got one IDP spot and you got him and a couple other guys and they're not on none of these lists, play. And then let's just talk about the honorable mentions. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. It's just a lot of split possible tackles there because you also got the safety with Hungaloo. So it's a little bit of work that's got to be made there, but they both can put up a lot of tackles. There's about probably 20 tackles that can go in between the 3 of them, and sometimes 25 tackles. So it's either good numbers for all 3, good numbers for 2, or really good numbers for one and all right numbers for both. So it can kind of even itself out, but it's right there on that plateau. TJ Edwards is down there. And then you got Cole Holcomb. We're not sure we're getting out of Cole Holcomb, but he's going to have a lot of opportunity in the San Francisco game. I mean, a lot. So, Steelers fans, we're going to be able to see what's going on with Cole. Now, Cole, you played well at Washington. I'm a fan of you, dog. Play for us, please. We went out and got you now. We went out and said, we want him. Let's pick him off of the board, put him down there. Let's go grab this guy, and let's try to go grab that guy. And then, you know what I mean? We called you. We sent you some money now. You sign, come play. We need you. No, for real, we do need you. And then we could talk about my next honorable mention list, and that's Jordan Brooks, Kaiser White, Drew Sanders, and Ernest Jones. Jordan Brooks with Bobby Wagner there again. I'm kind of curious on what I'm going to see. I want to see what I see out of Bobby Wagner as well. And then the big boom could also be Ernest Jones. Ernest Jones could be a huge factor in the Seattle game or a no factor in the Seattle game. Make sure you watch the game early on defense side if you got him for IDP. Now let's get to the safeties. Is that you, Doug?
Hey, got your food in here.
All right, but all I got to do is safeties. I'm done. Top 10 safeties. Well, this is really just safeties. It is DBs too, but I'll give you a couple DBs at the end. But right now, let's talk about these safeties. Number one, Jalen Patrick going against Baltimore. Baltimore is going to run the ball. They're not going to throw it over the top very often. They may try. We're going to see, but it's going to be a whole lot of opportunity for Patrick, so you really cannot put him on. You kind of got to put him over number 2, which is Minka. But Minka's going to play. And Minka going to make sure he go out there and play well in that San Francisco game. So I put Minka at number 2, flat out, simple, straight to it. Derwin James is going to play against Miami. Now, you're not really sure how many tackles he can get in this game, but the factor of what type of player he is, you have to put him in a certain range. And to put him at 4 and 5 is disrespectful unless certain matchups call for that. No matchups call for that this week, so he's number 3. Buda Baker going against Washington. Buda Baker, if you're not like just a huge fan of Derwin like I am, take Buda here at number 3 for the rankings, just because they're playing Washington. They're gonna try to utilize both running backs a whole lot in between Gibson and Robinson. So make sure you tap in, make sure you watch the game a little bit, and at least watch the highlights and just watch the style of plays that they're running. That'll help you a lot with understanding if your player can actually make some tackles against certain stylistic teams and use certain teams that they played in the past or that they played in this season as the season goes on to say, okay, similar offenses, possible similar scoring, but the player is still a phenomenal athlete. He's in the NFL, so it could be way more or way less too. You never know how the game goes. But anyway, let's just get to it. Now we got Jerry Chin going against Atlanta. A whole lot, right? It's just a whole lot of opportunity going against Atlanta with the new running back. So we already know we're getting there. We're getting a run team. We're going to get some opportunity. And he's going to play linebacker and safety, so it's going to help out a lot with his production. Huffaluga, sorry, messing up your name, versus Pittsburgh, my squad. Excuse me. We're going to hit the tight end, but we're going to throw to the outsides a whole lot. So he might have an opportunity to get a couple PBUs too. Because he does hit hard, and he does play with aggression at like the point of attack of the ball too. But he also plays at the point of attack of the ball and the high point. So it just depends sometimes. So that's how you can either get a pick or some PBUs. I'm not banking on no pick. Maybe a pass breakup or something, but not really getting his hands on the ball. I think Kenny going to be on the money tomorrow. Let's go down to Jaquan Brisker versus Green Bay. Green Bay's going to have to run to solidify what they got going on, but I think they want to see what Julian Love's all about. So I think Julian Love's probably going to be able to throw the ball 25 times to 38 times. It just depends. So they may hold him to like 17 attempts, and that would be a long day. And if that's the case, then Jaquan Brisker goes up to like the top 3 on the list, and this whole list gets worked out. Justin Simmons versus the Raiders. Josh Jacobs gonna tote. He just got signed. They're gonna use him now. Different wide receiver core, a little bit different quarterback. We're gonna see what happens over there. Cameron Curl versus Arizona. Cameron Curl's a phenomenal athlete. Making sure he's solidifying himself in the safety position over there in Washington, playing Arizona. Arizona's gonna have James Conner. It'll be a whole lot of he was there, a whole lot of possible tackles, or you could have Cameron Curl having anywhere between 6 to 8 tackles in this game, and maybe even a tackle for loss. And then wrapping up the list is going to be Jordan Poyer. Jordan Poyer playing the Jets. The Jets are going to want to run. They're going to want to pass. But I just don't know what's going to happen with the New York Jets and how they're going to play. But I know how Jordan Poyer is going to play. So I know he's going to be around the ball, but I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't know. All right, let's get to the honorable bitches. Honorable mentions to just run right through them. Hamilton versus Houston is just possibility, but you don't know if you're going to get the possibility. Von Bell versus Atlanta. I just don't know if Louvu and Brian Burns and Jeremy Chin going to eat up all the tackles. I just don't know. Then you got Jesse Bates. Shout out to Jesse Bates. I want to see what he does for Atlanta. He could be a boom or he could be a bust. So he's down here. Jalen Thompson's down here because Buda Baker is simply in the top 3. It could be flip-flop this week. So if you got Jalen Thompson, just understand he could be that flip-flop. You know, the Arizona safeties can flip-flop the points. Watch out for Terrell Edmonds playing for Philly now. It could be a good thing or it could not be a good thing. Or it could just be a good thing for the team, but not really a good fantasy situation. So it's a teeter-tottering situation. Xavier McKinney, you're waiting for that. You're waiting for this. You're just waiting for the skyrocket. You're just waiting for that. But right now, he's just doing one of these. But you got to keep him on the roster and you got to play him. Javon Holland is one of these. And he's not doing nothing but that. He's playing as one of the best safeties in the league. I'm curious to see how many tackles he can actually get. And without having Ramsey, now that I'm thinking about it, might be some more tackles for Holland. But anyways, that's my list. Y'all let me know about my IDP list and what y'all think versus y'all rosters. If you guys got a couple of these players on your rosters, if you guys want me to break down more in the rankings and do like 20 or 30, let me know. I can make the videos less long and then just put like a list in the pinned comment section for you guys too. And just a rank system for you guys, drop it out there. I ain't gonna do it on the Patreon and charge y'all, I got y'all. But anyways, subscribe to the Juice and Pop Show. First in Fantasy. It's coming to y'all live. We gone. From the Juice and Pop Show,